really am. Like
Yeah,
the more
but
I try
what are you drinking?
Some bullshit V8 protein shake. Like it kind of got a weird taste, but it's the aftertaste that fucks you up. It's fucking disgusting.
You might have to throw it out. Yo,
I can't. I can't throw it out.
So
it's
the
money.
Yeah.
Food stamps got cut off. I got to, gotta make it work.
Yeah, listen, I understand. My food stamps got cut off too, and when I try to reapply, they was like, "Nah, you made too much." Ooh, now I make too much money, huh?
But
I didn't make enough.
I make enough to be broke. Ain't that some shit?
Right?
Come on. Like, food still costs a lot,
a whole lot.
But it sucks to be healthy too. Shit is disgusting.
God bless you. So you think Joe Biden is like the new plug?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not the new plug. I mean, the government has been beating the streets with product for decades.
Yeah, but I think Joe Biden is like the new plug.
Oh, he like Boy from Snowfall.
Right.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Kind of got the wig thing going too. So I mean, it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. We get it on. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. We get it on. Yeah.
Yerrr! Hey, yo!
Really? Protested pick 5? No, don't start that shit. Don't do that shit.
Bullshit.
You lost. Losing.
Protested pick 5.
I've been told you that this whole if you miss the pick shit was a problem. You wait till now when you miss shit for you to feel away.
Protested pick 5. I'm protesting Aaron Rodgers as the MVP.
I'm protesting
all that. Yeah, you're on your own with all of that today.
Yeah,
but
I don't know why you're protesting that.
Yeah, there's no reason to protest it. We 37-4, bro. Like, come on. Like,
hey, look at this shit. This shit is disgusting.
It looks bad. But what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Yerrr Sports Show. I am your host, Big Baby, aka the soul of R&B, aka the overweight lover in the house. You gotta add a little bit to it sometimes.
Where the fuck did no.
Yeah.
No.
That goes
a lot of overweight dudes are like lovers. I mean, Heavy D.
That's my spirit.
That's literally the whole thing that he's trying to get at right now.
That's me. I am him.
And Big all the Levert brothers.
I'm not all. I'm not all the Levert brothers.
Pun just crushed a lot.
Yeah.
He might have crushed some people too.
I think we need to admit Big Pun was a hoe. I'm not gonna hold you.
He wasn't a player. He just crushed a lot, bro.
Nah, Big
he said it in his song.
Big Pun was definitely a hoe.
Nah,
I heard Miss Jones.
So I knew. I had the. I will say this. I had the honor as a kid to know Pun, his family, his wife, his children, and I can tell you right now, the man was the furthest thing from a hoe. That man loved his wife dearly. You know that
a lot of people that cheat love their wife. That don't mean nothing. What you talking about?
Fat Joe love his wife, and Fat Joe be wilding too.
But get a shot.
Does Nelly love his? I'm sorry, stop.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
Anyway. At the top right of the pyramid, we have BK Matt.
He just admit that he was watching the video. That's
wild. And that's
wild. I heard. Listen.
Pete,
let me say this.
Pete, we're not judging you if you watch the video. We just didn't.
I've watched a lot of videos over the course of my life that have come out in the public eye. But let me say something. This is why I avoid Facebook. And this is why I got to say, as much as I love the Jabba Cheers podcast, that one group that we got on Facebook, I try to avoid that as much as possible sometimes. Because I log in.
The networking BS.
Yeah. Because I log in sometimes.
We be talking about like eating ass and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with eating ass, man.
Listen, I logged in and I saw like 7 posts.
About
the video. And I'm like, first thing I was like, what the hell are they talking about? What video? I was going to go and look it up. And then I saw a post that talked about what the video was. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
Once you see women are grading sausages, you just bow out. I didn't need to inquire more.
I didn't look at the comments.
I didn't need to inquire more either.
I didn't look at the comments.
Shout out to Ron Clark, who be the ringleader of a lot of shit that go on in there. And I'll be stealing his post off of Instagram too, because he be speaking Snapple facts. Shout out to Ron.
I don't endorse nothing to do with Nelly, whatever the hell was going on in that video.
Yeah.
I don't even know why that was even a topic of discussion. Like,
so here's what I don't understand though, because you brought up 33-4. You brought up.
Wait, hold on. Let me introduce you. This is on the road again, but at home today.
33-4. What the fuck are you talking
voice
about?
of a generation.
What's he talking about?
He's talking about Aaron. He's about to jump into the rabbit hole of Aaron
Rodgers. Don't start your shit.
We discussed. We
said
we were not going to talk about him.
No, but I just have one question. So I just finally looked it up. Like, because all you heard over the week was that Aaron Rodgers won the MVP, right? Okay, cool.
I didn't hear it at all. I only heard it one day.
What I didn't hear, which you usually see in a lot of the MVP discussions, is who else was in the running. And I just found out who it was. It was Rodgers, Brady, and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Why
is Josh Allen not getting consideration for MVP?
What records did he break?
Okay. Why is Josh Allen not getting consideration for MVP? Why are guys like Micah Parsons not getting consideration for MVP?
Micah Parsons is a rookie.
But are you telling me a rookie can't be the most dominant defensive force in the league?
Not when you losing in the first round.
You think a Dallas Cowboy is going to be any MVP favorite?
You know what hurt Micah Parsons when they tried to make him a corner?
Yeah,
that's what hurt him.
They should have left him alone.
Left him alone. That's what fucked him up.
Left him alone.
As far as Josh Allen, he was not having a better year than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. You got to relax.
So Rodgers got 39 votes. Brady got 10, and Cooper Kupp got 1.
Yep.
So really, it was only between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Yeah, well,
Aaron Rodgers and God. That's what it was.
I mean, Cooper Kupp also overwhelmingly won Offensive Player of the Year voting over Jonathan Taylor, Brady, and Aaron Rodgers.
Not shocked at all.
He was wilding all year.
Comeback Player of the Year. Listen, I get why Joe Burrow won, but I feel like it should have gone to Dak.
What? They're in the Super Bowl.
The voting for that. The voting for that is different. The same way, like when you vote for the NBA stuff, all that stuff is done prior to the playoffs.
Right.
We got,
and that's my thing. Listen,
first of all, the Cowboys was good last year, and
but again, time out. Let's as you would say.
But Dak was hurt last year too, though.
Exactly, Dak was hurt last year, but they were still good.
Andy Dalton, it's about the player. It's not about the team.
Let's talk about how you say it, Matt. Don't let the fact
get comeback, right?
Story.
Yes.
No. Hold on. Comeback. What was their record last year? Pete, I know you know the record last year.
But
what was the record last year?
It's not about the record.
No, but I'm just saying, most improved, right? Like comeback, right? He came back to them already being good. They were already good.
But
Cincinnati
that's not what the award. That's not what that award is about. It's not about if the team being trash. It's about the individual player.
Cincinnati got turned around.
That's like the most. It's basically like the most improved.
But that's what it is in a sense.
The
player, but it's a player. So
he played 10 games, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 65% completion percentage. Okay, and the Bengals went 2-7 because they did not have, Jamar Chase and all of that. So he goes out, he goes 2-7 in 2-7-1. I apologize. 2-7-1 in 10 games, 65% completion, 13 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Right now, yes, he got injured, lost 6 games of the year. But my thought process is the injury that Dak Prescott had far and away could have affected his career in a much bigger way and affected his ability as a quarterback in a much bigger way than the injury that Joe Burrow had.
So essentially what Matt's saying,
come back and do what he did with that team. Granted, the Cowboys went cowboying, but for him to come back and do what he did as well as he did with that team, in my opinion, meant I felt like he should have gotten the award over Burrow.
I hear you, but when I hear comeback, I think of comeback and change the culture to a degree. Cincinnati was trash last year. He came back. They're making the playoffs and they're in the Super Bowl. So how do you not give him that award?
But
I'm not saying Dak doesn't deserve it. He
Dak
does.
played 5 games last year, by the way. 5.
Okay. All right.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
We're talking about the Comeback Player of the Year award. The Comeback Player of the Year.
Who they gave it to?
Joe Burrow got it. They gave it to Joe Burrow over Dak Prescott. Either one of them could have gotten it, though.
I agree with that. I agree with Joe Burrow's choice because last year. But the thing is, no, because at the end of the day, the Cowboys did what the Cowboys always do. They lose they lost in the wild card round. So,
but the voting's done before the playoffs.
I really feel honestly, Joe Burrow could have really been a viable option for MVP as well for that team, because the Bengals a couple of years ago were in nobody's conversation at all. And then Joe Burrow got drafted to the Bengals, and he brought a winning attitude. Even though he went down early last season, we knew that this kid was going to be a problem. We didn't know when, we didn't know how soon, but we knew that eventually he was going to be a problem. And he performed above the curve. Mm-hmm. Yes, he still has some growing pains, of course. But even in those growing pains, this kid knows how to win and knows when to win. And with Dak Prescott, we're seeing a lot of the same with him. You get what I'm saying? And yes, he had a gnarly injury last season. Gnarly, career-threatening. People didn't know if he was going to be able to come back. And I definitely get why he's a comeback player of the year. But I feel like Joe Burrow went down with a very devastating injury really early in his career, and we didn't know how that was going to impact his play as well. With the Cowboys, they haven't shown us anything to be worthy of that award, even for Dak Prescott, because he fumbled the bag.
So I agree with what you said about Burrow and the way that he performed. But and what I had said before you were able to get on, Queen, right? Burrow played 10 games last year, and people were talking about how special he could be. He had no offensive weapons on Cincinnati's team last year. He played 10 games, went 2-7-1, threw for almost 2,700 yards, 5 interceptions, 13 touchdowns, completed 65% of his passes. Now this year, he threw 34-14. Completion percentage went up a bit because he played 6 more games. Now we lost Dak after only 5 games last year, and his injury, being that it was as bad as it was to his knee and his leg, to me was much more devastating to his career and his ability to function as a quarterback a year later than Joe Burrow's was. Almost everybody knew that Joe Burrow was going to make a complete recovery, but there were a lot of questions on how Dak would bounce back this year. And granted, the Cowboys did what the Cowboys do, but it's all based on the individual player, not the team. And the voting is done
but he lost
before the playoffs. But the voting is done before the playoffs. It's done before the playoffs.
Okay, so it's easy to be a shark in a small pond in the NFC East. The NFC East is trash. There's no, I love my team. I love the Giants. Don't get me wrong. The Eagles did win the Super Bowl 5 years ago, and the Redskins are always at the threat, right? But the thing is, Pete, I get 100% of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Commanders.
Like I said what I said. I've been calling the team the Redskins for almost 40 years of my life, so I'm not going to call them anything less. But anyways, because if that's the case, then rename the Chiefs too, because that's exploiting Native American, even though they're Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? That's still exploiting like Native American archetypes. But anyway, that's for another episode. But I get what you're saying, Pete, and then in that, I get your argument, and your argument does have valid points. But this is my thing, right? With Dak Prescott, he fumbled that game to me. And I do get that voting is over before the playoffs begin. And I get that. And to that point, you're correct. But I feel like just all around impact for the team's culture, for how you're a leader on that field. And I don't feel like Dak is called the leader of that field.
Thank you, Shaq. I'm not going to, we forgot to mention 9 sacks and still threw over 300 and something yards. We're going to forget that. We're just going to gloss over that. I'm cool with Joe Burrow being,
he was sacked 51 times this year. He was sacked 51 times.
Those
and that's Joe Burrow.
Maybe his ass needs to know how to move out the pocket.
And
his line is trash. I'm not trash. Well,
his line is trash. No, his line is trash. His line is trash.
I feel so bad for what he's going to endure tomorrow. It's going to be.
And when we talk about that, I think the line is a big thing when we talk about what the possibilities for tomorrow are.
And we're going to get right into that right about now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm not doing trivia. I'm not doing it.
All right. So first of all, the fix is in, and second of all, the fix is in. Number one, number two.
Right now, stop.
No, I'm not.
How is it a fix?
At the end of the day, although he said procrastinate and pick 5, I was about to say that is funnier. But at the end of the day, how else are we going to decide who's going to win this game? Because I'm pretty sure that we're going to pick the same team for the Super Bowl.
We're all picking the Rams. I mean, it's
let me tell you something, though. The Bengals are the favorites.
I'm picking the Bengals.
I think the Rams are favored by 4.
I saw a spread. I saw a spread that it was neck and neck as of yesterday. But
I'll tell you right now.
The Rams, let me tell you something about these Rams. These Rams are everything they're supposed to be until a game is down the wire. And that's when we saw what the Bengals did to the Chiefs. They took them out the game early. Now, if and I say a big if the Bengals take the Rams out of this game in the first half, they're not going to recover. They are not a second half team.
So the Rams are favored by 4 points as of right now in Vegas. The line is still 4 points on the Rams. The over-under is 48.5. I definitely think this game is going to go over 48.5. So if you're looking to put money on this game, I think one obvious place to put money is on the over 40 over on the points.
Right.
Here's the thing. I mean, the Bengals have been the comeback kids so far in this playoffs, right? They almost lost to the Chiefs, right? Chiefs kind of, came out early. They almost lost to the Chiefs. They had to go to overtime. They came down to the final possession. I think the game right before that. So they've been in
shit the bed.
They've
all those games. A lot of players shit the bed. Let's
And listen, I think a lot more of the blame on the Chiefs' loss does go to the Chiefs, but you got to respect what the Bengals were able to do to come back.
You said the
in
Chiefs.
That
it
game.
Goes on Patrick Mahomes,
right? Again, yes, it does, but at the end of the day, the defense.
I need for y'all to give this.
Stop them.
The
defense still got to stop
the Chiefs' defense has been suspect for years. I don't want to hear that shit. No, give the blame to Patrick Mahomes.
Defense has been suspect for years.
Man, don't do that. Don't do it because it's Patrick Mahomes. Because if it was Aaron Rodgers, your ass would be all over him. Give it to Patrick Mahomes. He had the ball twice.
I'm giving it to Patrick Mahomes.
Let's talk about all three. Okay, but let's talk about all 3 games.
I'm giving the heat. I'm giving the heat to Mahomes. Like I gave the heat to Prescott. Like I'm giving the heat to Rodgers. The heat goes to Mahomes in this. Time management, clock management.
No, you're not right. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm saying I apologize. The Bengals, this entire playoffs, it's been a rough road for them. They almost lost to the Raiders. They barely beat the Titans. It came down to a last possession field goal to beat the Titans. They had to come back.
Are you serious?
But hold on. But again, it doesn't matter. It was 19-16. It was 16-16 going into the final possession. They needed They still needed to kick a field goal. The Titans still had that game tied, no matter what we want to talk about with Tannehill. Yeah, he threw the interception that he threw, which allowed them to get the interception. But if the Bengals are as good as we're saying they are, and I'm not saying they're a bad team, but if they're as good as we're saying they are, they should have been beating the Titans by more than a tie in the final drive of the fourth quarter. They almost lost to the Rams in the first round. They almost lost to the Titans in the second round, and they were almost beaten by the Chiefs.
I mean the Raiders.
Right, the Raiders, the Titans, and they were almost beaten by the Chiefs in the championship game. Now, listen, I love the Bengals. And there's a part of me that wants the Bengals to win this Super Bowl simply because I think Cincinnati, that city, for as long as they stuck by that team, okay, and as long as that team has toiled to get back to this point, Cincinnati, I want them to win the Super Bowl because I feel like they deserve it. But, and Dre brought it up.
You don't like Stafford no more?
Again, this is where I have the but. That's the interjection, right? Cool.
Uh-huh.
There are two big things that I think about. I am a huge Matthew Stafford fan. And I think Matthew Stafford as an individual deserves a Super Bowl. I wish it could be that the Bengals and Matthew Stafford could win, but that can't happen, right? Matthew Stafford, I feel like if anybody deserves this kind of a recognition and a great game and a Super Bowl win, it's Matthew Stafford. But as Dre said,
he has to earn it. Nothing that he has to earn it. Stafford has shit the bed too at very key moments of games throughout his career. He has shit the bed too.
Oh, Detroit?
Shoot, Detroit. It was this year too. Like I've been saying he's been a pick machine in the red zone, and people been like thinking I'm tripping. Like
I'm not saying you're not tripping. You dead ass.
Stafford's one of those old school. Stafford's maybe one of the last few remaining old school gunslinger quarterbacks that just throws it till his arm falls off. And as we saw with a lot of those quarterbacks, they throw a lot of interceptions. But Dre brought up what. He
throws stupid shit like fucking Carson Wentz. Be honest.
Dre brought up what I think is going to be the deciding factor in the Super Bowl, and that is the defensive front of the Rams versus that offensive line of the Bengals. The Bengals' offensive line has proven throughout the regular season, throughout the playoffs, to be very leaky, to be very porous, and I'm sorry, you can't afford to do that when you have a defensive front line like the Rams have. Burrow is going to be fighting for his life in this game. In my opinion, Burrow, if he wants to win this game, is going to need to use a lot of Joe Mixon, and he's going to have to score early and often in order to avoid that line breaking that Bengals offense in half. Because if that defensive line of the Rams, if they cement their game, I don't think the Bengals have a chance.
People said that. Let me tell you something. People said that with the Chiefs. Like at the end of the day, Matt said this year. We've been saying this for years. Even when they went into that game against San Francisco, you get what I'm saying? Their defense has been shaky at best, and San Francisco had one of the top-rated defenses that year. So at the end of the day, I feel as if this game is for Stafford to lose. Yes. Yep. 100%. But do not get it twisted. Burrow plays hero ball. We saw what he did in that LSU championship game just 2 years ago. He plays hero ball. And hero ball sometimes wins you the chip.
I think that I just think that the Bengals are reminding me of the Chiefs when the Chiefs got their Super Bowl run when they won it. In terms of coming from behind and having a high-powered offense and a so-so defense.
Burrow ain't Mahomes, though.
Right, that's what I was getting to. Burrow is not Mahomes, though.
I give you the laid back cool shit. He got that going. But again, I said it like two rounds ago. The Rams were built to combat against Kansas City and against the Buccaneers. They're the most like well-even team that Joe Burrow is going to be facing in this playoffs. Because you mentioned the Raiders, we already know what hit them. You mentioned the Titans, where they're a high-powered like defense, but their offense is so-so because you got Tannehill, right? Then you went against the Chiefs. Defense suspect. I've been saying it and we did not know what Patrick Mahomes we were going to see. Because again, Kansas City has been kind of ass this whole goddamn season, and Patrick Mahomes shit the bed at in the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter, and he shit the bed as a whole in overtime. You threw an interception. That's a big no-no. So I mean, again, you're not gonna see a lot of this against the Rams. That defense is the truth. Aaron Donald is the truth.
I will say though, the schedule.
My issue primarily with them is I like Jalen Ramsey, but the rest of that secondary is a little shaky. And you have three top tier. Well, you have three up and coming receivers that at one point in time led the team in receiving yards. All three of them on the Bengals. So I'm not like I said. I know the front seven is going to get Joe Burrow. That's not a thought. They're going to get him.
Take a hit.
If Burrow could get the ball out in enough time, the Rams are in for a long night. The Rams are in for a long night. But yeah,
X factor.
But in terms of the picks,
I think you got to think about Dre. I got to say really quickly, the Bengals have lost games this year that they should not have lost. Compared to, I mean, the Bengals have had the tougher schedule, but they've lost to teams. I don't feel like they lost to Chicago. They lost to the Jets. They lost to the Browns twice this year. You know, they've lost to a lot of teams they shouldn't have lost to. And Burrow has not always looked great in good spots. I mean, they almost lost to Pittsburgh. Burrow looked really human in that game twice, threw for less than 200 yards against Pittsburgh.
But you also gotta look at those games. Those games are conference. Those games are conference, and the Cleveland game is a divisional game. So they've seen these teams enough. They see these teams
outside of Tennessee. Of Tennessee, the Rams have only lost to Arizona, San Francisco twice, and Green Bay this year. That's it. And they've
this Bengals team is better than that 49ers team.
They are.
This Bengals team is better than that 49ers team. This Bengals team, I mean, that Rams team, let me tell you something. If Tom Brady would have had his weapons, we would have been talking about a different Super Bowl. Okay?
And people don't like the Rams because they're the super team right now. They got Jalen Ramsey off a trade. They brought in Odell Beckham Jr. off of free agency. They brought, Eric Weddle came out of retirement to join the Rams.
Those are not the teams that win. Those are not the teams that win.
The Rams are the favorite in Vegas, but a lot of people are hating the Rams because they're being viewed as the super team that was built to win the Super Bowl, and that's it.
Well, I think it's only been few and far between, as Tate mentioned, in terms of those type of teams winning the Super Bowl, and one of those teams won like 20 years ago, and people still losing their mind over that. And I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
The Bucks kind of were like that last year.
Yeah, and I guess you can say the 2000 Ravens, maybe, but
when they got
but
Shay Shay.
Yeah, well, that's few and far between.
Yeah, but when you think about last year's Buccaneers team, right? Nobody talked about their offense at all. It was their defense that everybody feels won them that Super Bowl, which it did. Patrick Mahomes also did not play the form
at all.
So I don't know if it still has an asterisk next to it because it just looked as if he was playing hurt. He was playing because he didn't want to let his team down. And at the end of the day, I feel like this Rams team, they have some holes. They did not have an easy route to this damn Super Bowl either. They did not have one. They had mediocre teams looking like they were getting ready to take them down. Well, Gronk is washed up. And Gronk looked like a superstar of years past against that Rams defense. And you have these young guys with young legs who are going to run circles as well. So we'll see. I mean, I feel like the Rams are going to pull it out and win. I do feel that way. But honestly, I want the Bengals to win.
Well, in terms of the picks, I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going to lock my pick in with the Bengals. I'm not changing my pick. I'm in last place, so it don't really matter to me. So, Pete, who you got?
No.
If you protest, okay. So Pete not picking. So Pete automatic about to be in last. Bet.
No, I still got a game lead over you.
No, you don't. We tied, player. Remember? Yeah.
I'm gonna pick. My heart wants the Bengals to win, but I'm gonna go with the Rams. I feel like Stafford is gonna pull this out, and Stafford's gonna get that ring to cement his legacy as one of the more unheralded quarterbacks of this era.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it up to you two, since you two are both.
Matt Stafford ain't nothing, by the way. We are not sitting here singing no praises over no damn Matt Stafford. I'm sorry.
But I said this before. I said the same thing, and like,
not me. I ain't say
not
nothing.
you. I'm talking about Pete.
I don't think I've ever said his name on this show.
He's all right. Like, no,
that's how irrelevant. That's how irrelevant I feel Matt Stafford is. I mean, the last time I remember the Rams, didn't they lose to the Patriots in the Super Bowl? Who did they lose to?
Kurt Warner and them, yeah.
Oh, Thomas, Edward, Brady.
Wait, didn't the Rams blow a lead in the Super Bowl?
Yes. Yep.
This was just a couple of years ago, right?
Nah, it was more than a couple. It's over a decade.
2000 something. 2001.
It's definitely close to 20 years ago.
Like 2001, 2000. I was in junior high school when that shit happened. It was a minute ago.
Yeah, I remember like Isaac Bruce and the rest of them was on the team.
Those were my guys. Marshall Falk was my guy.
Marshall Falk, but so I'm leaving it up to you two. Who y'all? Okay. Queen.
Wait, why do I feel like they played in the Super Bowl recently?
No, Rams have.
No. Yes, that was Jared Goff. That was Jared Goff. Jared Goff, and that was
they did go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, recently, yes. We talking. I thought you were talking about
2018.
Yeah, they went and lost to
Patriots.
To the Patriots, yeah, they lost to Brady.
James Harden's a hoe.
Duh, I know what I be talking about. Like.
Yeah, we thought you were talking about the original team that lost to Brady too.
That was the 13-3 game because Patriots won 13-3 because Patriots couldn't score because of the Rams defense. That was the beginning of that Rams defense that McVay was building there, but Jared Goff was absolute trash.
And Matthew Stafford is like
much better. Matthew Stafford career statistics wise ranks in the top 15 of quarterbacks, including Brady, Rodgers, and all of them. And remember that Brady and Breeze both played, as of this season, 10 more seasons than Stafford has played in his career yet.
So, Queen, are you picking the Rams as well?
I thought I made that clear.
I'm just making sure. I just want to make sure because I don't want, because we got someone on the bottom protesting picks and stuff because he don't know how to pick on time. So we gotta make sure. So I'm the only one who chose the Bengals.
Cool. Yo, Dre, honestly, I'm picking the Rams only because I wanted to tie with Matt to make sure that this goes into overtime. But I really feel like the Bengals are gonna win.
But if you do know, because it's still a game lead between last and first. So if y'all two lose and I win, now it's a 3-way tie. Pete is the only one that has everything to lose here. If I'm not mistaken, by the records, right, Pete? It's only one game. It's only one game between us and
he don't
them.
know.
Yeah, it's only one game because had I not missed Had my pick been counted, I would have been tied with them with Dre.
No. Say it right the first time. Had you not missed the time,
my pick was right. I should be a 3-way tie, but then again, it'll be a 3-way tie anyway because all of us are picking the Rams. The only way this changes, right? All of us are picking the Rams except for you. So if the Bengals were to win, Matt and Queen would actually still. We are 1 game behind them. So yeah, I think it might be a tie. I check.
I would tie them too. You would be the only one that at the waving, like last year. You have to. I jumped past Pete at the end.
I don't know. We're gonna have to. We would have to play dominoes or Uno.
Yeah, I'm not doing no damn trick.
Because
bro, we're gonna have to. We might just have to fight. We might have to fight.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to meet up at meet in the pink houses somewhere and just scrap
until one of us come out. Like that's it. Oh man. Tay, you have time for one more topic?
What is it?
You know what we're about to talk about.
You know what we're about to talk about? Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, we're definitely not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're done with Aaron Rodgers for the year.
We all knew what was going to happen.
We all knew what was going to happen. We said this already. We said this like we kept saying it every week. So
what's the topic? Because I'm getting ready to get out my cab.
We about to talk about that trade, that good old trade. Between Brooklyn
with Harden and them?
Yeah.
Yeah, ho.
By the way,
Harden?
Yeah, he's
Harden's a hoe.
Just to quickly say this real quick, just because I had to look this up.
Go to the back parking lot, please.
4 years ago, they did a comparison.
Quickly, I gotta play the music. Hurry up.
Yeah. Of all the quarterbacks in the AFC, and the only quarterbacks to throw for more touchdowns or yards than Matthew Stafford was Brady, Rivers, and Roethlisberger. That's it.
Okay, so nobody cares about Rivers. Okay, and then you said that.
He had to get that out.
He felt like he really needed to get that out. I'm happy you got that out. You
took what they said personal. Like, don't be trying to play my man.
Right. That's my man. Like, come on, bro, relax. While Peter's still fighting over his man, Tay, how did you feel? Who won this Brooklyn trade? No, not who won, because I think it's obvious.
It's very obvious.
What did you think of this Brooklyn trade?
I think that James Harden is baby. Oh,
hold on. Say it.
Right here is fine.
Yo. Ho.
Yeah, that was kind of corny.
He's a hoe. A whole hoe.
Two times. He did it twice.
That's
in 10
crazy.
months.
I lost so much respect for him. It's crazy. To hear that you might have faked an injury just so you can force yourself out, that is crazy, bro.
The man faked a fat stomach to get out of Houston.
That is crazy, bro. I can't.
The man was wearing a whole fat suit in Houston. Remember how he was like 300 pounds on a Tuesday, got traded to Brooklyn, and he was 157?
It's crazy, bro. It's so much stories coming out from that trade about what might have happened, what might have led to him being unhappy and all this other. All I got out of this was Daryl Morey is the bottom bitch to Brooklyn.
He the bottom bitch to James Harden. No, he the bottom bitch to James Harden. He loved him some James Harden.
He gave up way too much for that trade, bro. Way too much.
Well, I didn't ask y'all yet. I asked Tay.
Wow.
Tay got the limited time, so I need to hear Tay talk. I'm going to hear y'all talk for the next 45 minutes. So, Tay, outside of that, like, who do you think is going to be better off, like, in the long term? Because James Harden took an extension. He's thinking about taking the extension.
Nah, he signed in. He opted in.
Yo, fuck James Harden. That's all I gotta say.
That was some real whole shit what he did. I'm sorry, it is. Damn. Yeah, he opted in. He's not going to free
but he's still he's still eligible for the extension next year. Even though he opted in, he's still eligible to turn that into an extension next year.
That's some whole shit. Is it our turn yet? Pete, you going first?
I gotta jump, guys. Thank you.
No problem,
All
Queen.
right,
Travel safely.
Pete, yeah, you go first. You go first.
No. You go first.
Nah, Pete gotta go
first. No, because Pete going to talk for an hour and I'm gonna move on. So you go first, and then I want to hear what Pete got to say after.
All right, I'm gonna start from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I think won this trade? It's pretty obvious. Brooklyn won this trade. Why did Brooklyn win this trade? Granted, Harden and Joel Embiid together seems scary. The pick and roll should sound marvelous, right? Mm-hmm. But the catch-22 to Joel Embiid and James Harden is, one, James Harden does not perform well in the playoffs. That's one. Two, you don't know if that injury is legit or if his hamstring is really effed up. So you don't necessarily know if you're going to get a 100% James Harden in this capacity. That's one. And honestly, I though the Sixers got better, I still don't see them beating like Miami in a 7-game series. I don't see them beating Milwaukee in a 7-game series. Hell, I think they'll go 7 games with Chicago. Truth be told. And Cleveland's even got better, even though I still don't think Cleveland is good enough or legit enough to go to a second round. But yeah, like the Sixers got better, but Doc Rivers is still their coach. I respect Doc Rivers, but the facts are the facts. Daryl Morey is like legit the bottom bitch of Brooklyn because he gave up way too much. You gave up Seth Curry, which is a really good to great shooter. He's not great. He's not his brother, but he's pretty good. You gave up Andre Drummond, and you gave up Ben Simmons. But Paul Millsap, who I doubt is going to even last on the Sixers for that long, and James Harden. So what you ultimately did was you gave Brooklyn everything that they were lacking. They were lacking a bench. They were lacking a big man that can get rebounds, and they were lacking defense. We got all of that in one trade. All of that in one trade. Why do I say that? Ben Simmons don't got to shoot a damn thing. All he need to do is hit free throws. That's the only thing he needs to do. Hit free throws and do what you do great, which is play defense. And he plays that very well. He can guard all 5 positions. So ultimately what you did was you gave yourself a roadblock in your own damn division. The biggest of roadblocks. Because you gave Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving with a squad that can shoot. And you let Brooklyn keep Patty Mills. What the fuck were you thinking? You gave up Seth Curry and let them keep Patty Mills. Their bench is straight. We don't even need Kyrie Irving to play home games like that because they're good. They're good. Kevin Durant come back healthy, they're good. So Brooklyn won that trade. Go ahead, Pete. Say what you got to say so I can protest it.
I think both teams won the trade.
Well, that's a fact, but Brooklyn won more.
No, I think both teams won this trade. Here's why.
Yeah,
of course. Brooklyn got, in terms of the bodies that they got a shooter in Seth Curry to take over the spot that Joe Harris currently is not in because he's injured. And then when you think about getting Joe Harris back, and you got Joe Harris and Seth Curry as 2 dangerous shooters to go along with, right?
And Kyrie Irving.
But I'm talking about that starting lineup. You have a shooter.
I'm talking about
bench,
shooters.
A shooter for the starters. You got Harris and you got Curry. Alongside of Durant, a big man, and one of those point guards on the floor. You're gonna have a good thing. You allow Kyrie Irving to switch to, in my opinion, a more comfortable spot as a 2 guard. Rather than having to be the facilitator for the offense, because I think Ben Simmons can be the better facilitator as a pure point guard than Kyrie will. And you get a body for a very thin front line in Andre Drummond, because the Nets front line has been the injured LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, who hasn't seen off the bench until these injuries started happening, and I think a good young player in Nick Claxton. But where the Nets really won were the first-round picks. 2022 first-round pick that is unprotected, Okay, no matter where they finish, they will lose that unless they defer it till 2023. Now, if I'm the Sixers, I'm giving up my 2022 first round pick because you're likely going to make the playoffs. You might go to the second round, so that means you're going to have a low pick. For all you know, this could blow up next year. You have a terrible year. You defer to 2023, and then you're giving up a top 5, top 10 pick. So if I'm the Sixers, I'm giving it up this year. And then you got a 2027 pick that is protected 1 to 8. So if it's anywhere between the 1st to the 8th pick, they get to keep it and defer it till 2028, which is also protected 1 to 8. And then if they still do really badly in 2028, that turns into 2 seconds and $2 million. So the Nets did get something that I think they can spin. I think they can spin one of those 2 first-round picks to continue building this team. Now, why do I say both teams win? Philly gets James Harden. And say what you want, okay, and I will agree with you about James Harden's personality, what he's done in Houston, and what he's done in Brooklyn.
He's a hoe.
But at the end of the day, he is. James Harden, a hoe. But guess what? What is the greatest ability in any sport?
The greatest ability? Availability.
Is availability. And what has Ben Simmons not been for the Philadelphia 76ers this year? He has not been available.
That's my choice.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Right. He has not been available. James Harden, in all thoughts and what the story is going to be, is that he's going to be on the floor. We all know what a motivated James Harden can do on the floor when he is motivated to play. He is a 3-time scoring champion and a triple-double machine. That is not a mirage. That is true fact. So at the end of the day, you're taking the unavailability of a Ben Simmons, which you did not have, and all of the package woes that come with that. And you're getting James Harden, who will be available for you sans injury, assuming this injury is not real and doesn't hamper him. You have an available James Harden. You kept, what's his name? Tabuli.
Thibault. Why won't you? Thibault. His name is Thibault.
I know.
With a Red Bull. Thibault.
I know. I messed with you on that one. But you got to keep Thibault, and you got to keep Tyrese. And you got to keep Tyrese Maxey. 2 young pieces in Philly. Okay. But they believe those are parts of the core in Philly. And you still got Embiid, who should be in the top 2 for MVP. Okay. And now you got a guy that can, and now you have a legitimate threat that can take the defensive pressure off of Embiid. Okay. So now Embiid can't say he got to do it all by himself because Ben Simmons can't shoot. You got a guy who's more than happy to shoot, more than happy to drive and kick, more than happy to lob it up to you. So I think both team wins. I think both teams actually get better because of this. And here's the caveat, my last kicker before I let it go back to Matt or Dre. We don't know how long it's going to take for Simmons to get back on the floor for Brooklyn. He's still currently unavailable. We don't know how long it's going to take for Durant to come back from this injury. The Nets are 2-10. 2-10 without Durant so far this season. Okay. And we also don't know if Kyrie Irving is going to be a full-time or part-time player. I think there's still a lot of questions surrounding what Brooklyn has and a lot less questions surrounding what Philly got.
So in the short term, I'm going to say Philly won the trade. And here's why. You got to keep the highest rated defender in the league according to advanced stats in Thibault, right?
Tabuli!
I don't even know
you still kept Tobias Harris. You didn't have to flip Tobias Harris. Joel Embiid is on the MVP tear. But I think if KD didn't get hurt again, KD would have been the MVP.
Yeah,
far and away, he would have been the MVP. Well, far and away, and then you have Steph running right behind him. But Steph his MVP talk has kind of died down a little bit the past week or so. But like I said, in the short term, you already have Embiid on a long-term deal. You have Harden that's going to play this year and that's going to play next year. And if you look at that Eastern Conference team in the Philadelphia 76ers, who's in the same division as the Knicks, the Hawks, Boston, and New York. These teams are all beatable right now. These teams are all really beatable. Of course, the Nets would like to have a higher seed, but the Nets also want Kyrie to be on the floor. So now, if you're losing enough games to where now you're playing for your playoff life. Say you run into Philly in the first round. Is your team going to have that attrition to play Philadelphia, who's probably going to be on rest since they've already got that first round, since they're sitting down watching them?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Well, okay. But then the flip side to that is long term. That pick, that 2022 pick, this year's pick can be anything. That can be a piece to flip and get something else.
Exactly.
That can be a pick. That can be a hidden gem in the draft to where you might get a player you might get a Thibault type player in the draft.
Or you could trade it for a Thibault.
The Nets have done very good with drafting.
Right. The Nets have been supremely good with drafting players, except for the years that they traded everybody. Traded all the damn picks.
Stop bringing up all shit.
We gotta bring up it's relevant shit because they're keeping their picks now. They know better. So,
I just think there's a lot of questions in Brooklyn right now. Too many questions.
But that's the thing. As much questions that we have in Brooklyn, the answers are still right in front of our faces. Because worst comes to worst, if Kyrie leaves because his offer was rescinded, you still have Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons for the next 3 years.
4.
3.
Now listen, if KD's healthy,
3 because KD has the option. We don't count option years because niggas do whatever they want.
If you tell me that hey, Magic Fairy Dust, Magic Wand has been shun over, and you're telling me that KD becomes healthy immediately and Simmons is ready to go.
All-Star break.
Hold on, but again, if Durant's healthy, if Kyrie is playing, and Kyrie's playing regularly, and you got Ben Simmons healthy and motivated and on the team, then yeah, I'm gonna say Brooklyn all day because I think the pieces that they have once they start getting everybody back healthy is ridiculous. But right now, they don't have that. Half their bench is decimated. Half their starting lineup is decimated. Kyrie's still a part-time player, and we don't know when Ben Simmons is actually getting in. Tomorrow, if they wanted to, Harden could suit up tomorrow for Philly and play.
He just arrived today.
Yeah, but I know they said that they're gonna use a practice or two to see how him and Embiid gel before they throw him on the floor.
Nah, just his hamstring.
Well, Matt, I'm gonna let you end the segment real quick. So again, your final thoughts on this.
My final thoughts on this is, look, again, James Harden is a hoe. He lost a lot of my respect with this shit because he's like, you didn't need to do all of that. Like I get it. The Kyrie Irving situation is kind of like iffy. Not even kind of. This shit's it's a whole mess. And I'm not saying hopefully the mandates get lifted. I don't know. If it does, it does. I honestly think Brooklyn should just be paying them fines and just say fuck it. But the situation is what it is. I just feel like long term, Brooklyn is gonna be a contender. Granted, like Pete said, you don't know when Ben Simmons is coming back. I know he's coming back sometime in the season.
In 2 weeks.
I feel like I heard 2 weeks. I heard he's supposed to be ramping up and training and shit.
He'll be back after All-Star break or probably the game before. But
I have a question about this trade that I don't think anybody's asking, but I think Dre kind of stumbled on it a little bit.
Let's hear it.
What was this trade an out for them to get away from Kyrie?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's what he's
doesn't have to play. That's what I was saying. He doesn't.
No, I'm not talking about this season. I think that this trade was also made.
He didn't opt out.
I'm thinking this trade, long term, is also a way for the Nets to keep KD happy, so they can move away from Kyrie Irving.
But if this vaccine thing, the mandate thing is lifted, which it looks like it's about to be, I'm not going to hold you. It's looking like it's about to get lifted. So if you erase that problem in the locker room, he gets along with everybody. That's a lot of reasons why James Harden was not happy. Everybody was siding with Kyrie instead of him.
Because he got washed in practice?
Yeah. Well, I heard that story too.
Yeah.
But
because he was getting cooked.
From the most part, from what everybody said, he was the only one that was upset about the Kyrie Irving situation. The rest of everybody else was on board and understood it. So he ultimately wasn't happy because he felt like he was doing everything on his own because what? KD's hurt, Kyrie plays whenever they're away, and the team is either injured or they're on COVID. So again, I understand the frustration, but it all starts with that situation with Kyrie. If James Harden was the problem and he's gone now, the rest of the team got along with Kyrie. Again, a lot of these media outlets will sit there and make it seem like, oh, Kyrie's he's the problem, he's the problem, he's the problem. But in the locker room, they don't feel like he's the problem. You get what I'm saying?
Funny thing is, I don't even think this was the best trade of the deadline.
It wasn't. It was the necessary trade of the deadline.
No,
it was the necessary trade.
I think the Sabonis trade, which a lot of people did not talk enough about, I think that Domantas Sabonis trade from Indy to Sacramento is
Sacramento's looking. Hey, Sacramento's looking kind of spicy right now. I know they're at the bottom of the league right now.
But Sabonis is a beast.
But with the pieces they picked up, no, they're not making the playoffs. But with the pieces that they
got, if it gels together and then they make,
I'm not talking about. Yeah, they're not making out the play-in. No,
sorry,
they're not making out the play-in. But because you got run into some monsters, like LA is at the bottom of the league. You really want to run into Los Angeles,
Lakers
going into the playoffs? Like I know
Speaking of the Lakers, did y'all hear about that apparent trade that the Lakers turned down?
You see. You see the stupid
what
shit?
Trade? Which trade?
It was hot. It was Russ
Westbrook for Wall straight up
John Wall?
with first round.
Yep.
And they
but the Lakers
ultimately traded for the same player. They're the same player.
The Lakers didn't want to give up the Lakers didn't want to give up the first round pick.
The Lakers didn't want to give up the first round pick, but I would have at this point I would give John Wall the chance. Now, since I've seen enough of Russell Westbrook.
He ain't the only problem, though.
No, but he's not the only problem. No, it's not going to change overnight, and it might not even change next season. But I think, Brown going back to Cleveland.
I think West. It's you're right. Both of you are right. Yeah. But here's the thing: while you're essentially trading for the same player, I think the issue is not so much the play. I think Westbrook has just worn out his welcome in LA. And like you were saying about the same thing with James Harden, people are tired already of Westbrook and exhausted by him and just don't want to deal with his antics and his bullshit, that they're like, you know what, we'll take John Wall and take our chances at hitting a reset button, getting a same type of player, but just getting away from all the bullshit that comes attached to Russell Westbrook.
I just think John Wall has a different mindset than Russell Westbrook, but to Matt's point, you're virtually almost getting the same player.
Less turnovers. That's it.
Yeah, the less turnovers. John Wall's an actual point guard. Let's put that out there. He can't shoot worth a damn, but he'll hit his spot ups more than Westbrook would. I think if Westbrook is just a lost cause right now.
Westbrook can't hit the side of a barn right now.
But if we go back, because Tay said this, and you and Tay, when you and Tay had y'all back and forth about this, it's not only Westbrook. The team is too old. Like I would keep Melo, but Avery Bradley and Trevor Ariza should have been gone in that deadline.
The players that they picked up are not conducive to Frank Vogel's style, which is defense. That's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody want to focus on.
I would have went for Robert Covington if anything, bro. Like I would have
found Clippers got dangerous. The Clippers got dangerous.
Well, both of their franchise players are out for the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's all cool. They still got dangerous.
Yeah, Paul and Kawhi are both out for the rest of the season.
Who do they pick up again?
They're not out for the rest of the season. They picked up Covington.
Kawhi's out for the whole season.
Kawhi's not out for the rest of the season. He's coming back towards the playoffs.
We don't if they make the playoffs.
That's his decision.
Yeah.
And George isn't George out for the extended amount of time as well?
Yeah, George will probably be back sometime near the playoffs if they make the playoffs. They have to hold on to make the playoffs. But Reggie Jackson is playing phenomenal.
West is trash. I said what I said. I don't care. Outside of Golden State and Phoenix and Memphis, West is trash. I said
that's the thing. That's the thing. You got to play Golden State 3 or 4 times. Y'all in the same division. Like
Matt's still mad about what I said about Golden State.
Yeah, you a damn fool. I can't believe you.
What did you say? What did you say about Golden State?
I don't know what's your problem is.
Yeah. What did you say about Golden State?
Derrick Rose to Stephen Curry. Are you serious?
Wait, to who? Wait, what?
No. I compared him to Kyrie.
When him and Tay tried to shit on Kyrie Irving and said that they would choose Derrick Rose and Darren, I can't even believe your ass even mentioned Darren Williams. You should be ashamed of yourself. I get that's the Nets in you, but you gotta relax.
I usually try to chill out when y'all have those conversations because it'd be funny, but I was just like,
I felt disrespectful.
I felt disrespectful. I felt disrespectful. I don't like Kyrie. Darren Williams don't like Kyrie, all that, but I really don't like Darren Williams, bro.
No, Darren Williams, when he was on the Nets,
I don't know what kind of nutcrackers they had. I don't know what nutcrackers they selling your ass in the Bronx, but you
listen. You couldn't get me drunk enough.
Something wrong. You wild. Darren Williams over Kyrie.
Here's where you try to spin the narrative and you don't lay down the facts that I laid out. Because when I make my arguments, I am very succinct in my factual backup.
Lay the goddamn facts down there.
I did not say
Let's hear it. Darren Williams over Kyrie Irving.
I'm saying it right now. The first 5 years, years 2 through 6.
Why?
Years 2 through 6 in Utah.
He was getting cooked by Chris Paul. He was getting cooked.
Chris Paul a god.
By Chris Paul.
A god. He's a god in the league, bro.
I don't care.
Hey, to be fair, that Utah Jazz team, his Utah Jazz team was like better than whatever.
A lot
Kyrie
better
had.
than New Orleans.
Whatever Kyrie had.
New Orleans at that time?
This is true. Kyrie had some bum team.
Yeah, Kyrie was playing with us, like
Andrew Wiggins
and Anthony
Not
Bennett.
the Andrew Wiggins of today, but back then that Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, the one that LeBron.
Yeah, and Tristan Thompson. Like
I'll be pissing me off with that. LeBron carried them to the finals. Like the nigga was averaging 27 or 28. Y'all gotta relax. What did he do besides hit a shot? He averaged 28. That's what he did.
Derrick Rose averaged 29 in the playoffs.
When? On the Knicks? On the Knicks?
No. I told you. I gave you the facts.
He averaged it when his MVP season and the year after that. But
when they went to the playoffs, the 2 years that he went, the year that he lost to Miami, the year that he lost to Miami and the year that he lost to Cleveland, both times he lost to LeBron. LeBron's last year in Cleveland and LeBron's first year in Miami. But both of those playoff series,
quick question.
Derrick Rose averaged over 28 points a game in those series.
Pete, that Cleveland team that he lost to, he didn't have a better team? I thought that team was garbage. Ain't that what everybody said?
That was LeBron's last year in Cleveland. He won a title,
Whoa.
Was that he won a title?
No. When y'all go with this LeBron James GOAT mentality, he had trash teams, so Chicago had a better team.
LeBron had trash teams.
No. I don't hear none of that shit.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to sit there and say, LeBron never had help until he went to Miami. He made it. He was the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. He had a better record than Miami, the team that he ultimately went to.
Okay.
They were the number 1 seed.
The 2015-2016 Cleveland Cavaliers.
2010.
Oh, you want the 2010 Cleveland Cavaliers? Okay, hold on.
That's his MVP season, ain't it?
The what?
That's his MVP
Derrick
season,
Rose?
right?
MVP season? Yeah.
I got you right now.
Boom. That Cleveland Cavaliers team was trash, right?
2009, 2010. Mike Brown, the coach. They finished 61-21. Okay.
But they had
trash. Danny Green. They had the man that nobody. Hold on. They got the man nobody give respect to as the Juniors of Gauskas. They had Shaq. They had LeBron. They had Antoine Jameson. They had a non-drugged up Delonte West. They had Mo Williams, Anderson Varejao, and they even had Brooklyn's own Sebastian Telfair.
Bro, that team on paper is terrible, bro. That's on paper. I said on paper. Relax.
But they were number one. They were the number. Were they not the number one seed? Were they not the number one seed? All right, then. So on paper, it's trash.
Mo Williams out here cracking people too.
Bring up that Chicago Bulls roster, Pete. Go ahead.
Chicago Bulls, 2009, 2010. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. They had Jamario Moon. I miss Jamario Moon.
On Cleveland.
Yeah, that was his rookie year. The year they won a title. And I was also JJ Hickson's
that nigga was extra garbage.
I like JJ Hickson. I like JJ. I like JJ.
The three J's.
Okay. 2009, 2010, Vinny Del Negro. Chicago Bulls went 500, 41-41. They had Luol Deng, Taj Gibson as a rookie Taj Gibson. They had Kirk Heinrich. They had Brad Miller, Joakim Noah in his sophomore season, and Derrick Rose as a rookie. They also had Tyrus Thomas, Hakeem Warwick, and John Salmon.
Jesus Christ, that team sound bad too, brother. It
didn't sound bad. It didn't sound bad at all.
Sound bad too.
I heard Luol Deng, Joakim Noah, Kirk Heinrich, Brad.
No,
Miller.
the one you're thinking about. The one you're thinking about.
So we
the one that Matt.
So we give it Brad Miller. No, hold on, Matt. We give it Brad Miller.
Brad Miller was
the truth. Brad
Miller was the truth.
See the reason the team that Matt is thinking about, the Chicago Bulls team that Matt is thinking about that was stacked was not the 2009 team, 2009-2010. It was the 10-11 team. It was after they fired Vinny Del Negro and they hired Tom Thibodeau in his first year. And Tom Thibodeau went 62-40, okay? And they had Carlos Boozer. They traded for Boozer, so they brought in Carlos Boozer, Ronnie Brewer. You had Luol Deng, Todd Gibson as a rookie. They brought in Kyle Korver. You had Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose in his sophomore season. Kurt Thomas came in for season number 15. You had C.J. Watson over there. And you know why? You know why they were really, really good? The reason that nobody talk about it, the secret weapon that they had, the sauce, they had Brian Scalabrine. They had White Mamba on the bench.
We're done.
So
shout out to the Java Tiz Network and all the shows. Shout out to the Java Tiz podcast, of course, who just hit 200 episodes. Shout out to Cezone Talking Cezone Sessions that just dropped. Cezone Sessions just dropped another episode last week.
I'm not about to have
Amanda and Drizzy. Shout out to them. Shout out to Drizzy again, who was on the on Cezone Sessions. Who Pete just got me mad. Shout out to him and his wife and Run Them Digits. I'm trying to get it all together. Look, Matt his headphones off. Shout out to Brian F. Pro. I don't know if y'all saw the picture, but he put a picture of a bunch of really dope Black content creators, podcasters, referees, and I was fortunate enough to be on that picture, representing us here at the Yerrr Sports Show, represented the Job Tiz Network as well. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody who was on that list. Shout out to Shantice and Stan of Talk of Champions. Shout outs to Queen Kiki. Shout outs to everybody. Those wrestling girls, Dirty Heels, Alfred, who's a good friend of the show. Shout outs to everybody who was on that list. Shout out to Montesi and Josiah Williams, who was on that photo, who did our theme song. Shout out to Kanisha, who's a good friend of the show as well, and it seems like it's lit outside my house, but it's really not. Just shout out to us. Again, I don't make that list without you guys, honestly. So I appreciate you guys.
Shout out to Brian Scalabrine.
So, for the voice of a generation, Pete Rosado, who's clearly now on his meds today, for the Queen Tay, for BK Matt, it's your boy, Big Baby, signing off. Peace.
Let's go, Brian.